The Toyota Fortuner is one of those vehicles that you either love or hate. If you love them, you know what they're capable of and what they stand for. If you detest them, chances are you actually have a bone to pick with the drivers and not the vehicle itself, because the Fortuner is actually a cracking vehicle. This recent model was updated in November 2020 and again now in December with a specification update. We're going to take a closer look at this current Toyota Fortuner model and see what has changed and what makes it so fantastic. This facelift saw them reprofile the bi-LED headlamps and give them a new wavy DRL element. It's tied in with this chrome piece that now flanks a slightly wider grille that's also got a new wave type design. On the VX model, which is the range topper, it's finished off in a gloss black. Take a look at the stylish skid plate under here. It's not a full-blown skid plate, but it looks like one and it's rather attractive. We've also got LED fog lamps in here that replace the larger units. VX models get a new design 18-inch alloy wheel in a bit of a shadow chrome vibe, and they also get a chrome strip down underneath the windows on the waistline just to add that touch of class. And there's more around the back. Follow that chrome line and it'll bring you all the way around to the back where you'll see this new spoiler up top here. They've redesigned the tail lights, and overall it's a rather attractive, classy package. The VX model really does look a little more elegant and a little more stylish. Now, many people will spring for the Fortuner not because of the 7 seats but because of its perceived space. I was a little surprised though. Electric tailgate is also part of the VX foray. It doesn't have as much space as I thought it would have, and that's largely because of the seats that encroach in this load area. It is still sizable and you're going to get large bags in here, but if you're trying to load large items, well, it doesn't really have that depth that you'd be expecting. What you are going to use though is this third row, and the time that I spent with it, well, I used this third row rather often. It was either the dogs or it was family. With the Fortuner, it was okay because we took my car. We took my car out on adventures. We took my car out to go and see family. It really became that all-in-one little package, and that's part of the appeal of the Toyota Fortuner. It's in the interior where you'll notice the most changes to the current generation Toyota Fortuner. Gone is the brown interior. Hallelujah! I don't know why they went with that. I think it was just that whole rugged outdoorsy approach. Either way, in its place is a beautiful black leather upholstery, raised white stitching here on this VX model. It's got some dark, I don't know if this would be an ash wood or an ebony wood trims around a few places, but it really feels bolted together properly. And I mean really properly. It is solid and rugged and feels like it can go anywhere. The 2020 update saw it get this 8-inch infotainment system, a full-color touchscreen infotainment system with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Then in December 2021, the spec upgrade and the VX models dropped navigation from it because Toyota found that most of the people were just using the navigation on their phone through Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. You're also going to now get dual zone climate control, and rather handily, there's controls in the rear for the rear passengers as well, so they can stay nice and comfortable. It is spacious in here. It's a little tricky getting in and out because of the raised body, particularly in the back where they don't have these grab handles. But kids will be kids and they'll clamber over anything, so that's not the end of the world. It's a rather pleasant place to spend some time, and as I say, that build quality is exceptional. Hop inside and fire up the 2.8-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine and you'll be pleasantly surprised. You see, that was part of the update as well. They changed a whole bunch of components and in fact re-engineered the engine. It's got a larger turbocharger, there's a different intake system, and they fitted different balance shafts to it. And this improves the running of the engine. It's also improved the power. The engine, first and foremost, is rather smooth and it's very, very quiet. It's a very agreeable diesel combination. It's mated to an automatic gearbox, and in this one it sends power to all 4 wheels on a 4x4 demand system, so 2 high, 4 low. And it is rather capable. I mean, it's got Hilux underpinnings, so why wouldn't it be? This turbo diesel engine is going to produce 20 kilowatts and 50 newton meters more than its predecessor, giving it a total output of 150 kilowatts and 500 newton meters. Toyota says that this is good for a combined fuel consumption of 7.9 litres per 100. But sadly in the real world that's going to be, well, high nines. Took a little while, we had to run this one in before that number tumbled, and it may come down ever so slightly, but currently we're sitting on 9.8, and that's a fairly mixed bag of both highway and urban commuting. The 80-litre fuel tank, which takes diesel of course, will yield about 1,000 kilometers by their numbers, so you can expect to get about 900 kilometers in the real world. The gearbox programming is rather good, and you don't really notice it too much. It's got a noticeable change, but it's not intrusive. They've also given you drive mode, so you've got an eco mode, really just sort of kills the throttle response and allows you to drive a little more economically, a normal mode, and of course a sport mode, and that livens things up a bit and gives you a little more throttle response. It doesn't do too much to the suspension and handling, but the throttle response and it seems like the power output are definitely improved. It makes it great for overtaking. I said the same about the Toyota Hilux. It is a noticeable change in the power delivery. You're considering a Fortuner because you need that third row of seats. You clearly have children or a larger family and you need space for them to sit. Otherwise you just get a RAV4 or a Hilux double cab. That means that you'll be worried about the safety of the occupants of your vehicle. And not to worry, because the Fortuner has it covered. There are inertia reel seatbelts throughout the cabin, airbags throughout the cabin, and in the VX line you're going to get TSS, which is Toyota Safety Sense. These safety features include a blind spot monitor, lane keep assist, a panoramic view monitor, as well as rear cross traffic alert. All of these little features help keep you safe and help prevent accidents that would ordinarily be avoidable while you're driving, particularly on that long road. And that's where the Fortuner excels, is out on the long road. This is a vehicle that eats up mile after mile of tarmac. Those changes that they made to the engine really do make it fantastic. They also tweaked the suspension a little bit, so it's got a softer front end and better steering feel, but the back end is still a little too hard. If you go over a bump, you'll go over it with the front wheels and think, well, that's okay. And then you'll feel the back end go over and it's rather jarring and rather harsh. But it's not the end of the world, and it does mean that the towing capabilities of the new Fortuner are a little higher than that of its predecessor. Good news all round then. Another nice point, the JBL sound system, and that was a spec update in December 2021 where they give you an 11-speaker JBL audio system on this VX grade. Now it is a lot of money. The Toyota Fortuner has become rather pricey, but at the same time all these refinements have turned it into a bit of a status symbol. It is the vehicle for the well-heeled, active family man, or woman for that matter. It's going to cost you just shy of 840,000 Rand for the 2.8 GD6 4x4 VX model that we have here. And there's only a few options that you can choose from, and those are primarily just paint options. You've got a couple of accessories, but nothing that's going to cost you anything extra. And that's the beauty of it. 840,000 Rand is going to get you into a Toyota Fortuner that looks just like this.